good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight I'm joined on the panel by Bridgeman and Jimmy for Knights. Good evening, guys.
Ian and Fox, even Bridgeman.
Well, can I say a big good evening to you two guys on the panel? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
I need to apologise that Ox will only be doing the show tonight. He's had to go into hiding because he broke down after he found out that Dave King was leaving the chairmanship of the club. So we'll need to wait till tomorrow night to hear his version of events today.
Oh, they're having a party in the lobby now. They're having a party in the lobby since you announced that.
Well, I met you at the AGM this morning, Bridge.
Yes.
How do you think it went for you? Just a brief summary.
No, for me, I thought it was a really good event. I always enjoy these, but that's probably the best one we've had. And a tidy ending because the Dave King giving his speech, and that was it was a bit moving for a lot of folk. But a big shout out to GMCK42. Met him the day there as well as yourself and the skipper, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. And I thought it was marvellous. The guy got a standing ovation. Dave King got a standing ovation. Tremendous stuff. I like some of the questions, but I'm sure we'll get into them. The answers to the questions, should I say, that were asked. I'm sure we'll get into them later on.
I was going to go up and ask a question, but I balled out it, Bridge.
Well, what was the question?
Who blocked up the toilet? That's where I was going to be my question. I would have picked you out because you asked me if I was carrying a plunger. I don't normally go about with a plunger in my pocket. But, and Jimmy, I take it you watched the video of it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, mate. And it's a long time since I've actually been to one. I've not been to one for many, many years. It was interesting that some of the rumours that were going out before the AGM, but what I saw today didn't surprise me. The rumours were unfounded, apart from the fact is that the worst kept secret was that Dave King was going to step down. So it was quite moving to listen to him speak. No doubt you'll have that later on in the show. But yeah, it went as well as could be expected, as they say. So went very well, and just wish I was able to attend these things now, but we'll see what happens after New Year. Might get back in the groove again, mate. But it was good to see what was happening, you know. So a lot of good things I think are in progress, folks. So that should be interesting in the next few months, mate.
It does. The future looks good at the moment. I was quite impressed with some of the stuff that was spoken about today. And I think you were as well, Bridgie.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's very, very interesting hearing some of them, and in particular ones near the end where they started speaking about the media and how we're treated in this country, and so on and so forth. But we'll no doubt maybe later on you maybe want to bring these points up rather than listen to me, because I can rant all day about the BBC. So I'll just leave that now, and you can get somebody more sensible than me to talk about it, and I can maybe chip in. And I'll say chip, not chib.
I think it's quite important that we start halfway. Dave King himself, we've got a cut of the interview that he done today, and it was more talking about his personal involvement in the club. So I think we'll just go and listen to that, and then we'll take the show for there, okay?
Okay, doke.
Cool.
Looking back at previous AGMs in preparation for today, I was reminded, as if I needed reminding, of my reluctance to get involved with the club during those dark days. I'd already served on the board for many years. I'd lost £20 million while doing so, and I'd been witness, while on the old board, to the bank-driven sham sale to Craig White, which Alistair Johnson worked so valiantly to expose. I then watched in horror from South Africa as the Craig White era hurtled our club into administration. When Mike Ashley subsequently became involved, I was initially comforted, purely by my awareness that we finally had someone with the financial muscle to take the club forward. His subsequent behaviour in not doing so continues to perplex me. I still fail to truly understand despite the perceived benefit to Sports Direct of dealing with a weak board, while Mike Ashley propped up the old regime. To my mind, a successful Rangers would have been far greater value to Sports Direct than Mike Ashley, and he had the financial muscle to achieve this. This must be one of the rare occasions when Mike Ashley was too timid. The club continued, as we know, to spiral downwards. And after Douglas Park and Chris Graham reached out to me in desperation in 2014, I decided to rethink my possible involvement. As I made clear in multiple media interviews at the time, re-engaging with the club was not a positive expression of something I wanted to do or something I would look forward to. At that time, my South African businesses and my international businesses were growing rapidly. My adult children had just joined me in the holding company, and working closely with my children was something I'd very much looked forward to for some years. There were also other private time constraints and my willingness to commit the substantial time and travel for me to take on a project of the magnitude that faced Rangers at that time. Sorry guys, I've lost my spot here. Sorry, I got it. I took some time before deciding, extremely reluctantly, to enter the fray and take a leading role in removing the previous regime. It was ultimately a sense of duty to present Rangers supporters and to the memory of those that had gone before that overcame my natural resistance, as I was fully aware that if we were successful in removing the old board, that I would need to follow that up by committing my own time and financial resources to the recovery period. I was fully alert to how daunting and time-consuming this task would be, particularly for someone not resident in the UK, as it would add substantial overseas travel to an already extremely busy schedule. I've stated in public many times before, being chairman of Rangers is not an experience I've been able to enjoy. It's always remained a duty. Dealing with the Sports Direct legal issues was extremely time-consuming and frustrating. Mike Ashley's attempt to have me committed to jail for speaking ill of Sports Direct in a TV interview was certainly a low point. The fact that the previous board and other parties agitated with the takeover panel in an effort to have me excluded from assisting in Rangers recovery created many personal complications for me with the exchange control authorities in South Africa and cost me over £1 million in wasted litigation costs related to my status to make the offer. In fact, the South African exchange control involvement in reviewing what was going on at Rangers because of the takeover panel had a subsequent negative impact on the club. Since year end, I put in an additional £5 million to assist with immediate funding of our summer transfer business. The South African authority would not approve a further investment in shares in Rangers and eventually only approved a loan on an interest earning basis. That is one reality I face from living in a country that continues to have capital controls. However, as I highlighted earlier, the crisis is now finally behind us and normal activities can resume. In order to have smooth succession planning, I therefore advised the board last month that this will be my final AGM. The hard work of recovery is now done, and I intend to step down from the board in the new year as soon as the new funding round has been concluded by the subcommittee and as soon as the new devolved operating structure for the club that was approved yesterday has been fully implemented. I estimate that will take about 4 months. I now look forward to paying more attention to my South African and international businesses and to finally having the time to work with my children in the manner I had intended before my duty to Rangers put that plan in the back burner. The South African economy is very tough at the moment, and it is time that I redirected much more of my attention to my private affairs. I would not step down if the club continued to need my services and support, but it doesn't. I thank all our shareholders and fans for the absolutely magnificent support I have received. Despite the personal trials and tribulations, I want to state that being the chairman of Rangers has been being the chairman of Rangers has been, just lost myself again, has been by far the greatest privilege of my business life. And I will continue to use my shareholding influence to support the club and the sport. I will also continue to represent Rangers on the board of Rangers Retail Limited until conclusion of the litigation with Sports Direct, however long that takes. I'll now open up the meeting to questions. Thank you.
Well, that was Dave King in his, medalist farewell speech. Bridge, how do you think that went down, or do you think the applause told its story?
I think the applause told its story. I think he's been initially people viewed him with a bit of suspicion, and that's not. Then again, we were suspicious of everybody. But we found out 4 years ago just how much of a Rangers man he really is, and here he is. He's done his turn. He feels he's done enough and done as much as he can ever do. And in fact, the pressures are getting a bit too much, maybe have an impact on his family and personal life. So he's doing the business. He made a lovely speech. And I don't think there was I don't think it was anybody with negative thoughts about Dave King at all, other than our enemies, the media and so on and so forth. So they'll have their own version of that why he's leaving story, Personally speaking, I was delighted for him. He got a marvellous standing ovation, and the guys are well. You could see he was starting to crack up a wee bit. I don't mean crack up mentally, I just mean he was starting to break a wee bit. 2 or 3 times he sort of needed a couple of seconds to grab himself and said he'd lost his place in his speech and so on. But wonderful, absolutely brilliant. And well done to all the Bears for the standing ovation and the way they treated him. Absolutely marvellous. Well done, everybody.
Jimmy, your view?
I mean, a lot of people, fantastic today what they did, standing ovation. I mean, we've got to remember this man lost £20 million in the previous regime, and he's not just a fly-by-night. He's come in and he's managed to gather together people, which have obviously been nicknamed the Three Bears, and managed to galvanise them and get some funds in, and then some. So he's got to be congratulated in that, It's a bit too early to say, but maybe the Broomloan stand should be called the Dave King family stand, because what he did to what he's done for Rangers since they threw his doing into the dungeons, I keep saying, has been marvellous. And as he did say there, no, he didn't say we're back, but he's no needed at the helm anymore, because we're in the right place now, where we belong, at the top. So well done, Mr. King. You go with my best wishes, and I know he goes with all the other Bears that were there the day and all the Bears in the world. So he's been a fantastic ambassador for Rangers, and he saved us, him and the other guy, but he was the main catalyst for that. So well done, Mr. King. Proud to be a Blue Nose tonight.
We've also been joined by Stardog, who sneaked in the boys' gate there. How we doing, Stardog?
How you doing? He's all right.
Did you manage to hear that be part of the interview, mate?
I did, mate. And I watched it the day on YouTube. There was a video come up for it as well, mate, and I watched it. Look, I don't really know too much of the ins and outs about it. He talks about half time because I'm not really that deep into it, mate. But obviously, I picked up most of it. I mean, he's going to believe in us, mate. It's come at a good time, I feel, because I don't think he would leave us unless we were stable. I think like what Bridge says, he's put what he had to in and some. As you said there yourself, Jimmy, he lost 20 million in the previous regime. He's come back in, mate. He's gave us all the money and all the funds that he possibly could have. He's fought for us. I'm excited to see what the future holds now, mate, because I feel like when he's telling you we're in a financially, we're getting there, we're getting better, we're not getting any worse, we're getting better every single year, mate, and we're progressing as a company and as a club. So sad to see him go, mate, because obviously he's a true Rangers man for everything he's done for this club, mate. But sad to see him go, but he goes with my best wishes also.
Well said, Stardog. My own personal view, I thought it was quite relevant that he spoke about Mike Ashley. And I'd like to say this to all the Rangers supporters listening. people at first were a wee bit dubious of Dave King when he came back in. People had their doubts. He had a bad time with the tax authorities in South Africa, and they were expecting, or they didn't know what to expect. But I found it very interesting when he says that he thought when Mike Ashley had came into the club, that he thought he was the right man for the job as well. And I think that's quite important to the Rangers support, because there's a mixed bag amongst the support where some have liked this Dave King for the start, some have had their doubts. But myself personally, I was one of the doubters, and I don't mind admitting it. I thought Ashley would have been a good fit for Rangers, but it turned out to be wrong. And Dave King then had to come in and save the club as it was. So a big thanks for me for everything that Dave King has done. And I thought it was very fitting the way he ended his chairmanship at the AGM today. Any thoughts on that, JFK?
Your words are quite poignant. You know, I mean, I was the same. I'd bought into the Mike Ashley thing, like probably 99% of us all. You know, we thought he was going to be the saviour, and same as Dave King did. So I mean, but obviously we know what happened, and we needed Dave King to come back. It doesn't beg our belief that, you know, that if Dave King hadn't stepped in, where would Rangers have been? You know, because with Craig White and with Charles Green, you know, along with Ashley and the two brothers who owned the bus company and that. So Dave King came riding in and he took the bull by the horns, as they say, and he dragged us through it. So he's got to be commended for that, and it's a big part of Rangers history forevermore, you know, and I'm eternally grateful for him. I never thought, as I said before, that I would see my team be back where they belong at the top after what they've done to us, folks. So he's got to take great credit for what he's done, and I've got to thank him for that. The same as yourself, that he saved Rangers. His actions have saved Rangers, and I know we backed him, and he's shown his appreciation. He's gave us our club back. So thank you, Mr. King.
Can I come in, Alex? Yeah?
If Foxchair was here, he would bring you in. So I'll bring you in.
Oh, cheers, pal. Thanks. I was just going to say I agree 100% with Jimmy's saying, and it's a testament to how Dave King managed to get together with the Three Bears, and I have to say, I mean, a name was mentioned today at the AGM that we haven't heard for a wee while, and that was that boy Guilfoyle. Is it Gilligan? Sorry, John Gilligan, and what he did, because he carried a lot of sway with a lot of the fans, and they followed him, and he said he wanted to back King, and everybody backed him, and that's the way it happened. I think that Mike Ashley, it was really, for me, I spoke to yourself, Fox, and Oxchair and that, and we agreed three things. One, that Mike Ashley was probably the best person to come in and help Rangers. This is when it all started. Secondly, it was a marvellous fit, you know, the same colours and everything, same livery, everything was right to be with the Rangers. And thirdly, he was a billionaire, so a alleged billionaire. But we never dreamt that everything would go south the way it did. And the fact that he was propping up Rangers' old guard when they found out all the money was gone, Ashley was the one that was going to come in and shine, white knight in shining armour. Unfortunately, it didn't work out properly. I thought the guys, when McGill's buses, and I cannot remember their name for the life of me at this moment, they loaned Rangers a couple of £1 million over the turn and got their money back and never asked for any interest, never asked for anything. Whereas Ashley loaned the club money and such and such, and eventually he was wanting to take over Rangers for nothing because he had loaned them money. That's basically what was going to happen. And I'm really pleased that the Three Bears and Dave King stepped in, and look where we are now. As he said today, and I mean this sincerely, what he said today was that the Ibrox Stadium is debt-free, the Hummel Training Centre is debt-free, and Rangers, are, to all intents and purposes, debt-free. Probably after this share issue will be debt-free. And that is some compliment to all the guys that done it, including our fans, and they bought their season tickets religiously, and we still will. And Rangers are sitting in a great position, should be, providing everything goes all right with our share issue. We're going to be sitting in a marvellous position. And if Mr. King gets his way and we don't sell Alfredo Morelos, then we're sitting with a net profit to all intents and purposes at next year end, and we'll still have Alfredo Morelos sitting there to sell. I think that's what he was meaning when he said some of the things he said today as well. So it sounds really great for me, from a very sad start to a very, very happy ending for Mr. King. Really, really happy for him. Delighted. Thank you very much, Dave King.
Stardog, have you anything to add before we move on?
I mean, there's a couple of things he said today, mate. I mean, it made the hairs in the back of my neck stand up when he said he felt as if, even though he was reluctant to do this, because obviously financially it was going to be a drag, and there wasn't ever going to be much fun in it, mate. It felt as if it was his duty, because of the Rangers fans and to all the people that have came and went before him, all the legends of the game. I mean, I'm sure individually each of us could probably name a handful of folk that have sadly, they're no longer ways and things like that. They haven't got to see us coming back to this level, mate. But I think it's great how he's treated us as a football club first and foremost, and not a business. The way he spoke about Alfredo Morelos, I watched a different interview, him sitting individually, and he was getting talked about a news reporter, and he's saying, it's me that's saying to Steven Gerrard, look, I want us to win the league, and we need this guy to win the league, and things like that. He's staying strong for the football club, mate. And looking back on it, for the day he walked in, he always had stood strong for us. There's not really been any question there what he's doing or where money's gone. He got it right, the appointment of Steven Gerrard. He's backed him, and we're thriving now because of that, mate. So we'll forever be in debt to this guy. He's got to go down as a legend. He really does, for what he's done for us, mate.
Well, if anybody would like to phone in about what we're talking about, the number is 0141 356 1972, or you can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, where we'll bring you into the call. I just want to further say he was very complimentary to everybody that has played a hand in the revival of Rangers. John Gilligan, as you mentioned. What was the other boy's name? God, I forgot his name. Paul Murray. He mentioned him. He also mentioned individually Donald Park and others that are now sitting on the board. And I think he was very appreciative of the help that he got. He didn't do it all himself and was the first one to admit that. And I thought that made him look good in my eyes. I think he was very, very, very complimentary to everybody. Yeah. So it was a good job. Well done, Dave. And I hope you do find time to have time with your family. And you deserve it, mate.
Yeah, here.
Absolutely. Can I just make a comment on something that Jimmy had said about, when he mentioned something about naming a stand? Is that right, Jimmy? Did you say something like that?
I would love to. No, I'd love to. Look, it's when we called the Hummel Murray, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we know what he did. We know he came in, but I mean, what Dave King did is, as I keep saying, they put us in the dungeons, and he's unshackled us, and he's now we're the giant. The giant's back again. The establishment's back. So that'd be a great thing if Rangers down the line, whenever that would happen, is call it the Dave King family stand.
That's brilliant. I was going to suggest, Jimmy, they should rename the Copeland to Dave King stand.
Especially when they made a lot of comments. Quite a few times he made the remark about spending time with his family.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of like the Dave King family stand.
That'd be cool. I'd be happy with that.
That'd be. We've obviously get the Sandy Jardine, and obviously the Copeland's no. It's just, but I mean, that would be a tribute to him. On the investment side, I mean, when they said the day, I mean, that him and his three bears, they've exceeded 30 million, and they no longer need to keep doing that. That just shows you the job that Dave King and the three bears and others who have got investment off in the few years that we've been coming back to where we deserve to be. He's done a fantastic job, and he deserves all the plaudits that's gone out there for him. And absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Never thought I'd see the day that we would be where we are again. You know, I know we all say we'll get back, but it's been a very, very rocky road for us, and absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed it, watching it and listening. So again, I've got to say, well done, Mr. King. You're a legend.
He also never missed the fans' input into it, and also Club 1872, who Laura Fox, I think the lassie's name is, got up and spoke shortly after Mr. King finished, and Club 1872 have given a good backing to the club as well, and big up to them as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like the guys at the end there that started talking about the media. I don't want to go into it too much myself unless you're going to open up for that. But they never missed very many, did they? They never missed very many.
Look, we've given Mr. King plenty of plaudits here in the opening half hour of the show, but there was mistakes made, Bridge. The appointment of Kashina, especially, cost the club quite a lot of money. That was a big mistake. But to be fair, the Three Bears survived, along with Mr. King, survived that mistake, and they sorted things out eventually when they brought in Stephen Gerrard. And he also was very complimentary to him today. Remarked on how he was beneficial for the club, not only in running the the first team football side of it, but also the backroom staff that's been assembled beside him.
Yeah.
And I think that's been his biggest success, was bringing in the manager. It was a big gamble. We all knew it was a gamble, but it was a gamble that paid off terrifically for the club and for the board. Yeah. Would you agree with that, boys?
See, like you're saying there, I definitely agree with that, Fox. No, and all walks of life, no matter if it's work or whatever, you've got to sort the wheat and the chaff. Right, you've got to get that sorted right away. So he's done that. He made mistakes, and we've all done that. So Kashina was a big mistake, but he's got to learn by that mistake, and he did. No, he didn't give up. Dave King, he kept it going, you know. So that's how you learn in life, and you make a mistake and you build on that and try and rectify your mistake. So he's done that. He's brought in Stephen Gerrard. We were talking the other night there about the significance between Stephen Gerrard in 1986 when we brought in Graham Souness and that. So let's hope that repeats itself. So what Dave King's done with the backroom staff that he's brought in, and with Mark Allen, who's no longer there now, but bringing him into the club, and the investors, he's made mistakes, but that's only been better for us. We've now got probably one of the top managers in Britain at this moment in time, and I don't say that lightly. I've no drink, but I just think that Stephen Gerrard is his stock's really high now, and he's with us. So onwards and upwards, mate. Onwards and upwards.
Can I come in now, Foxy?
Of course you can, mate.
I was just going to say, everything Jimmy says absolutely right. I think there's one thing I can't overlook is I know we made mistakes. We brought Kashina in, probably should never have been at Rangers. Well, definitely should never have been at Rangers, should I say. And of course, two of the players they brought in, Pena and Herrera, disasters. However, we can't forget he brought in Alfie, and that's a big plus for him. But as a manager, no, he wasn't yet. No, he should never, ever, ever have been here. But then we might never have had Alfie. So I'm trying to give it a wee bit sweetness on the sourness of Kashina's reign. I think he's brought in Gerrard, Mr. Gerrard, MBE, and that's been a wonderful appointment. But I can't get away from the black mark against our board's names for what they've done with Mike Ashley. They've signed 2 contracts with Mike Ashley, and he's screwed us twice. And whoever signed these contracts, I don't know if they knew what they were doing, but it doesn't feel like it. So we'll now get that huge trawl through courts once again, probably to try and clear our name and get our ability to sell strips and things like that back. Because I believe we can't sell any strips next season at all under that particular judgment. So hopefully early in the new year that all gets cleared up and the litigation finished with Mike Ashley altogether. That would be that would be great, because Dave King said he was going to stay for the litigation, and maybe that could be his final act for Rangers of getting rid of Mike Ashley away from us altogether.
And I believe,
let's hope it happens.
I believe, Bridge, he did say at one point as well, you know, that this Mike Ashley business that's going on now is merely an annoying itch than a financial strain. Anyway, you know, the club's in a really good place now, and I think he's just staying in place just to oversee this, just like you say, until it's finally finished, mate. But I don't think he can hurt us any more financially. I don't think there's too much more he can do to us, mate. I mean, it seems to me like within the next 3 or 4 months, this is going to be coming to an end, and the club's going to be totally clear of this guy.
What I mean.
Yep. But I mean, going back to what you were saying about the Kachina thing, mate, I mean, I think Dave King, if anything, is always backed. He's always backed his managers, mate, and I think he made the mistake. I mean, Kachina shouldn't have been there in the first place, mate. I think we can all agree on that. But I think he just backed him too much, didn't he? He showed too much confidence on him, and he gave him a budget to go and do what he wanted with, basically, and bring the two idiots, as you would call them, like you were talking about, mate. So there's been a couple of mistakes there, but personally, I mean, I can't wait till this Mike Ashley business is done, mate. I would never have touched the guy with a barge pole in the first place, mate, no matter how desperate we were. I've seen what he's done to Newcastle over the years. I mean, how long have the Newcastle fans been wanting rid of this guy? It's got to be more than a decade now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? He's been horrible down there to them, so I didn't expect any different after this guy when he come up here. I really didn't.
I'm afraid I have to agree with you to a certain extent, but I think most of the Rangers fans loved the thought of Mike Ashley coming in. We just thought he's a billionaire. He's going to make sure we're never going to be wanting and short of you, Bob. And just we really thought he was going to let us run the club the way the club should be run. But it turns out
he's left Newcastle to rot for years, mate. Do you know what I mean? Even came out maybe even 4 years ago, when about the time actually getting involved with us, he did a live interview on Sky Sports saying, you know, I just can't afford to compete with all these chairmen down here and things like that. And I just knew it was red warning signs for me straight away.
Well,
the thing is with Mike Ashley, mate, he didn't make all that money that he's made by being a nice guy. He's a very clever businessman, and I think he tied Rangers up in knots, as he's done with so many businesses before that. And the thing was, the whole saga was debated out in forums and in the press, and nobody actually knew the whole facts behind everything. So what else can you say? As for likes of myself, who's only a layman who wouldn't understand a contract like anything like that, it's very hard to comment when you don't know the full facts. And I think, as he admitted today himself, it's his biggest bugbear, his time at Rangers dealing with him. And he did say he would stay on the board, hopefully as long as he has to take Mike Ashley on.
But we need to bear in mind, just forgive me for interrupting you, Poxy, we need to bear in mind that apparently right now the court judgment is there, and for Mike Ashley, right, against Rangers, Hummel cannot produce and do any strips for us for next season. None. That's as far as I'm led to believe.
Well, we don't know that for a fact again, Bridge. That's all paper talk, so let's just wait and see how that...
It's a court order.
But let's see how it works out.
Oh, so yes, of course.
We don't know. We don't know. Anyway, we'll move on for the personal side of Dave King. He also talked about the playing squad, the value of the playing squad, how it had increased under Steven Gerrard. And do you think that was a fair comment, saying that what they had spent has now been surpassed by the value in the squad, Jimmy?
Oh, how could you?
I listened to that bit with interest. I mean, I think Ross Wilson said that it was at 55 million projected into a possible 103 million. To me, I think that's quite low. I value Rangers to more than that. But I mean, the amount of money that the club has spent, I think, on players has been minimal. And looking at what these players are worth, so I think the money that's been spent on, I would say probably 95% of the players that were brought in has been real value for money. and Dave King, I think, has realised that, and the £30 million that he's brought in with the Three Bears for to spend on the squad, I think, has been vindicated. So you've got to say that the money spent on the squad so far has been very good, and I would say the valuation to 55 to 105 is quite low for me. I'd have put it about 130 the other night we were talking about it. So it's good value of for both players for 50,000, and there's people talking about paying 7 and 8 million for them. So I'm happy with that, mate. And I think he knows that the players that he's brought in is good value, and they're going to make Rangers money if we sell them.
Stardog?
You can't disagree with him, mate. I think, especially since Stephen, I mean, look at the difference in the two squads that Gerrard inherited to the one we've got now, mate. I mean, the value is day and night. I don't know about the squad evaluation, mate. I reckon, Alfredo Morelos, I mean, he cost at least 30 million of that himself for me now, to be honest with you. Realistically, players that could go this year, I mean, our three most expensive players the now, value-wise, and I'm not going to include Hollander and Ryan Kent in this because they're just at the club, but our most three expensive players right now to me would be Morelos, Barisic, and probably Tavernier. I mean, between the three of them, it could be up for debate how much you would get between the three of them, but I think it's a fair assessment of the squad, mate. I think 100-odd million would probably be a bit too much. I don't think we're worth that much player for player if you were to go through them all. I think it's a very fair assessment, mate, and it's day and night, as I say, to the squad that Steven Gerrard inherited. And the next 18 months are going to be even more better because, the players that we've brought in this season, your Joe Aribos and things like that, they're still to settle in as well. It's a wee settling in period for everybody, and once everybody hits their top form, then I'm pretty sure the value's only ever going to increase now, mate, and that's a very, very good thing for us, obviously.
Aye, fair play. I mean, apart from the Ryan Kent £7 million, a lot of the class players that we've got in have been on free transfers or quite low budget transfers. But of course, that doesn't discount the high wage bill that goes along with that. So, all in all, I think we've got good value at the squad that Steven Gerrard's assembled. So I'm quite happy with it. I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as saying it was worth 100 million, but estimates are estimates, and it makes a good reading. But the one thing it is sure is we've upped the class of the squad, and whatever they're valued at in the market is fair enough. But for us as a support, to watch them playing compared to a couple of years ago is worth all the money under the sun for me.
Can I come in and talk, Foxy? Sorry.
Aye, and then I'll bring in True Blue, who's
bring True Blue in the noon. I'll bring True in. Don't worry.
Evening, True.
All right, Foxy boy.
How we doing, pal?
Right, I want to put through to the complaints department. I can't get into this lobby at all. I've been logging on. I can't get in.
Have you cleared your cookies, mate, recently?
Aye.
Well, that's what it is. I'll get you in shortly, mate.
Aye, all right, mate. All right. You got a question for me?
Aye. What have you been up to?
I better not tell you that. Not a lot, pal. Not much at all.
Have you managed to read up in or hear anything on the AGM today? It's big news of the day.
Obviously, a big news, Fox, but the initial kind of big story is Dave King in the way out. I'm more interested what happens in the future now. I'm not crying Dave King in any shape, manner or form, but like yourself, I would accept there was mistakes along the way. I'm wondering, he's talking about the new structure, the budget for players, how all the separate departments will be more or less autonomous, guided by some chairman who I was quite surprised they didn't name a successor. And I'm wondering if it could see us back in aim and back onto the stock market and everything. So I'm wondering what the future's going to hold, because the club's certainly an asset nowadays. It's not so much the basket case, it was a few seasons back. So I am quite excited. I just hope the right people come in the right chairman comes in anyway. There's stories about investment for Hong Kong, and I seem to remember back in the past some guys for Hong Kong were chipping in money way back. I can't remember names or anything, but excited about the future, mate. Excited.
Well, obviously they've no named a chairman because of the events that's still to take place. There will be another share issue, and maybe it'll be a result of the share issue who the chairman is going to be. I'd have thought personally I'd like to see a Rangers man as chairman, and Donald Park, although his health isn't great most of the time as he's getting older, I would still, as I say, like a Rangers man to be chairman of our club, and no an investor coming in and being chairman because he put in a few quid to the club,
Well, again, it depends on the nature of the investment, folks. We're assuming there is investment, but if we get investment in, if it's, how did he describe them, Eddie? I don't know, he used some term for investors that were, part of the club, if you like, or supporters, but there was other investors who, you invest money to make money, so I'm wondering how it'll go with the investment and everything else. There's a lot of questions, a lot of interesting things to be answered in the years ahead, so that's the way I see it anyway, pal,
Anybody else like to comment on the chairman situation?
I think the next chairman, as you say it, is it's got to be the same as Dave King. He's got to be a Rangers minded. It's all right. I mean, obviously Ashley wasn't that, and Green and White. No, they weren't Rangers minded. So Donald Park would be a good fit. But as you said, Fox, then I mean, his health sometimes is not what it could be. That'll be interesting to see. Who will come in as the new at the helm. So. That's what he said. 4 months. That's what Dave King said, didn't it? It should be done and dusted.
4 months, aye.
4 months, and then we should know then who the new chairman is. It's going to be interesting times, mate. And that we'll see if the next new chairman is vociferous at times as Dave King was. It should be. Should be good to see who it is going to be. I don't think it'll be Donald Park. I would agree it probably should be, but I don't think it will be. I don't think it's something he'd be willing to take on at his time, mate.
I'd love it to be some wee Chinese billionaire that was just willing to fling money at us to get us back into the Champions League. How could we not just to get that? How is there no somebody out there that sees us for as big a club as we could be, thinking, one of the stars that we were talking about last night, one of the stars on that European football really belongs to that club. That club should be back in there competing for Champions League trophies and things like that. I would love somebody just to do that. Never mind the Rangers, man. If somebody's got billions of pounds and they're wanting to fling it at us, I would take that if he's for Hong Kong.
It's not as easy as that, mate.
I know it's not, mate. I know it's not, because you don't really get as much money out of Scottish football as what you do in the Premier League. Like, there's no really a reward up here. But if somebody could just fling his money, that would be good. Because Dave King has flung money at us. We've spent the last 40 minutes discussing that. It would need to be somebody with that kind of mentality. Somebody that's willing just to fling money at us to make sure we remain where we are now.
Well, it would normally be if the chairman, whomever it is, comes in and he's going to be the major shareholder, for instance, then he's going to buy the shares, which puts money into the club. So somewhere along the line, invariably, the chairman of most of the clubs down in England, for instance, is the biggest, the rich man that's put money in and bought the shares. So, or the rich group, whatever it may be. And I don't know. I personally, my own personal opinion is, I would like to see Alistair Johnson taking over for a 2-year period to solidify the recovery after Dave King, to see that everything's okay. That's what I would like to see, because he was the Rangers chairman, and I think he did a very good job. A very wary guy, and very little gets past him in that sense. However, there may be somebody new out there, and I'm sure whomever comes in will be welcomed with open arms to the Rangers, and the Rangers make them proud.
Does it no worry MD that somebody coming in and sticking money in the club and we go back to what we were before? I mean, Dave King and the board have fought to get Rangers-minded people onto the board. Is it a big gamble to take an outsider in?
Yep. I can appreciate what Stardug's saying. You know, a sugar daddy come in and throw millions and millions at Rangers, but
that'd be amazing.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I wouldn't like to see that happen. That somebody would just use us in that way. I think we've learnt our lesson here, and we've got to be really wary of who. Once bitten, twice shy, as they say. You know, so
well, I think he mentioned the management team, Jimmy. I mean, he says when he came in 20 years ago, he's got a better management team now behind the scenes than what they've ever had, mate. I wouldn't like to think they would let it happen again, the same as yourself.
But if somebody come in and supposing somebody come in and threw 150 million at Rangers, that would be absolutely fantastic. But what would that cost be further down the line? You know,
aye, I get what you're saying, mate.
No, so I mean, if you're talking about that type of money, if that was, I would like to see somebody who's already there, and let's bring other investors in. I know there was talk about the man. I think he's a Danish or Norwegian who's got a few million pound invested in Rangers. I can't remember his name. Sorry if I can't. Wilhart. So if he was willing to come in, I mean, he's on paper he's a multi-billionaire financer in Hong Kong. Does a lot of trades. So if he was willing to put money in for a position on the board, then I'd be up for that. But I wouldn't like to see is just solely owned by. I think we learned that lesson before. Just one man come in, or one person come in and say, I want to put 150 million into Rangers and I want to run the show. I don't think we can go down that road again. Ashley tried it and it ruined us.
I'm in agreement with you, Jimmy. I'd rather see maybe 3 to 4 investors putting in a few million than one single person coming in, because as we've seen with clubs doing in England, it always doesn't work out, does it?
No, that's your
and
right,
then
mate.
You could be back in the same trouble 10 years down the line, you know, when they get fed up and move out again.
Yeah.
This club is going to stand for another 150 years, and I would like to see it always in Rangers supporters' hands, you know.
Yep, definitely.
That would be the ideal, wouldn't it? That would be the ideal. And I think that's one of the reasons why I say if someone like Johnson, it may be Johnson, but yes, I think most Rangers fans would love it if the next chairman and the person in charge of Rangers was in fact a bear. It would be really good. However, that may not work out, as I say. The guy that puts the most money in might want the power, and we might have to live with that. So how we work that out, I don't know. But I'm sure that somebody has got a better idea than I have, and that's for sure.
I think Jimmy got a bit carried away talking about 150 million. I think somewhere in the region of 30 would probably get us bit right in the back in the right track, Jimmy.
I know the reason I say that, it was when Stardog said he was looking for some big giant investor, the same as they've got down in England, you know, and I'm no further, you know, even if they did come in with 100, 150 million, I'm like yourself, Fox. I'd rather see 3 or 4 investors come in and whatever they manage to put in and get a quorum there that gives us a good board and a good chairman. I don't want to see somebody come in and just throw millions of pounds at Rangers and decide that they're going to sit at the throne. I think that would ruin us. I'd rather see a better quorum in that, and I think Dave King's managed to do that with the 3 Bears and others who have come in and gave us investment. It was just when Stardog had said, he'd love to see
he was getting a bit carried away.
That's not something I would like to see at all, you know.
No.
Somebody come in and put that kind of... Don't get me wrong, if Alistair Ingray and Stuart Robinson and the 3 Bears had all come in and said we can raise 150 million, that'd be fantastic. But I'm like yourself, Fox. 30, 40 million somewhere down the line would be a fantastic amount of money for us.
That would be enough, mate. That would be enough for me, definitely. 30, 40 million.
Can I come in? Sorry, pal. Sorry.
On you go, Bridge. On you go.
Bridge and then through.
Right. What I was just trying to say is that when we go back to when we were talking about the value of the squad, the players that we've got, and what he said was 2 different valuations, and one came in at something like 50, 55 million. That was from Steven Gerrard, and the other was from Ross Mitchell, is it? and he was just over 100 million. So I don't know what were the same. That's the same squad, differently valued, and maybe one was a projection out for another 2 years or whatever it be, and with maybe the same progression as we've got, and the other, and on top of that would be the value of it. I dare say there's a negative hanging around there somewhere, which is the guys that are going to have to leave. So the negative is that there's no value on them, but when they leave, their wages go away. So that it becomes a positive. So somewhere along the line, accountants will make up something for that. But I think somewhere along the line, Gerard had said something like 50 to 55 million, and Ross Mitchell said it was like just over 100. So you could obviously, we're going to get, when we hear stories coming emanating from in the news from our massive Rangers following media, they're going to tell us that it's a real good valuation, whereas in fact we know they're not going to say that. So I'm just being facetious. But I would suggest that that's maybe a 5-year, 3, 4, 5 year valuation. So if we keep these players we've got, or keep the squad we've got, and add to it, it's going to be worth that. And that's where investors will come into it. That's where you'll get your share price up and so on and so forth. It's like that. That's all happened.
True. Rangers man must be in charge at Ibrox.
Aye. Or somebody with a glowing business background and experience, mate. I'll go back to what I've been saying on here for years and years, and saw the trouble back in admin and all the rest of it. The club needs to get back, the club stroke company need to get back to a situation where they're viable. They're running within their means, regardless of investment or anything else. That's where we need to be. In terms of the valuation, if you take Glenn Kamara, for instance, we paid out 50 grand for him. Now, that might be a 50 grand loss you've spent, and maybe you've no go it, but they're now talking about him in 8 million, and that's basically what Dave King's on about, the assets in the first team. If you go back to the days with certain mans, with Ian Black, Kevin Kyle, come on, man, there wasn't a penny in them, nobody would buy them. But now we've got players within the squad, and a lot of, you look at the youth, I mentioned the academy as well. I've watched a few of them, and some of the boys are really good. I see them coming up, getting into a first team, and then getting, moved on as well. So we've got assets on the park now, and it's shown in the results as well. It's shown how we're up there fighting for the title again. I mean, what we're doing in Europe is, it's absolutely amazing to me when you consider where we were a few years back, even under Pedro and people like that, but certainly the club's on the right footing. Certainly is. And they mentioned that, I think, next year the club will be running, within its means. That's really what you've got to achieve first. In that case, you will then attract investors. But if nobody's going to come along, who doesn't have an affection for the club, put in money and no expect A, say in the running of the club, and B, a return on their investment. That's why it works.
Aye, fair enough. Good points there, True. I mean, the other thing that it's no mentioned, it was mentioned today at the AGM, was we've got ourselves back after deck now and starting to head towards that viability, True, where we all run off our own merits. But I mean, we've still got other assets there. I can remember a time people were accepting that Ibrox being renamed, Okinawa being renamed for commercial things. I mean, there's stuff in the pipeline that's not been used. We've not had to sell off anything to get where we are.
I mind us talking about shutting Murray Park as it was at the time on here, folks. Shut it down and sell it. We were getting nothing out of it other than, expense. These are changed days. Rangers have got I'm on here bumming about my wee granddaughter all the time. She's up there on a Sunday night, doing great, getting the best of coaching. It's brought her game on. So much so, this is the bumming bit, she's been put forward for the regionals. And she's doing great away. She was up at Tory Glen there the last couple of weeks playing away. So they're doing all these things, but Okinawa, that's where she's getting her training at the minute, that and the wee team she plays for. So all brilliant stuff. I can see a hell of a change, through the Hummel and what's going on there. That's busy as hell. It's just practically 7 nights a week, with kids getting up. And, the women's team, he's talking about the women's football today. And I think there's a big future in that. I think he's right about that. And I think he's right to look at it. So our club is really, for top to bottom, is really doing well at the minute. There is plenty of room for improvement. I think we'd all agree in that. And I'm excited about the future. But I think it's also crucial we get things right, as some of the guys are saying on here. Certainly we want Rangers people in there running the club. They understand the club. More importantly, maybe they understand the support. Crucial. I think they'll probably already know who the next chairman is, when there's talk of this investment coming in. So we wait and see with bated breath, see what's happening.
I think they're going to create a whole load of shares for whomever wants to reinvest. And it depends who it is. We don't know who it's going to be. But he's going to have a lot of money if he's going to pay £20 million for Rangers shares. That'd be amazing if someone would come in and buy £20 million worth of shares. Not existing shares, because they have to be created. That's why the special resolution number 8 today. Amazing, just amazing.
Did I hear right the day, guys? It was sort of, I think I picked up at one stage. They were talking about, the soft loans converting their shares back. Am I reading that right? I thought I caught a bit of that.
Yeah, that'll all be dealt with this share issue. They're going to generate shares and pay back the loans, the soft loans that are there. And I think that's £10 million they need to do that. So
right.
Get some guarantees.
I wasn't sure if I picked that up right, Brad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, get yourself on mute. We're going to have a wee tune here, so on mute, boys.
Glasgow Rangers Football Club. Glasgow Rangers Football Club are the team that we all love. They're in our hearts and in our souls. We'll follow them wherever they go. When you support the boys in blue, no other club will ever do. It's good to be a Rangers fan, the greatest team in all Scotland. And when the Rangers play football, we know that they will give their all, and we will cheer them on their way to another victory. Glasgow Rangers, we adore the brilliant goals that you do score, the fighting spirit that you display every week, home or away. We know you'll try hard in every game, for it's blue blood that's in your veins. Just like your fans, loyal and true, giving your all for red, white and blue. And when you go to a foreign land, you'll be there, your loyal fans. Whatever city, whatever town, we will never let you down. Yes, it's great to be a fan of the Jers, the greatest team that's on this earth. You'll hear us cheer and you'll hear us sing, to help the Rangers to another win. For Glasgow Rangers Football Club are the team that we all love. To the Rangers we're loyal and true. We love the Gers, oh yes we do. Glasgow Rangers we adore the brilliant goals that you do score, the fighting spirit that you display every week, home or away. For Glasgow Rangers Football Club are the team that we all love. To the Rangers we're loyal and true. We love the Gers, oh yes we do. We love the Gers, oh yes we do. We love the Gers, oh yes we do.
We love the Gers, oh yes we do. Brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. Well done there.
Nothing worse than you put money in the jukebox and somebody sneaks in and puts a tune on, is there?
Thought it was a wee bonus you were getting there, Foxy.
No, I was old school blue and nipped in with that one. Well done, old school. I hadn't heard that before myself, personally.
Well done, old school. Well done, pal. Oh, he's saying it was blue blood.
Oh, well. God, I don't know what's happening on this programme anymore.
You've got some technical team, you have a lot of technical people now.
I wished I was back there, I knew, mate. Anyway, funny enough, too, you speaking about your wee granddaughter and Dave King, we brought up the day of the women's football, and I know a lot of guys don't seem to have any interest in women's football, but seems to be the way going forward. Would you go and watch a women's football game, MD? Why are you laughing, Jimmy? Come on, it's
no,
the future.
because I just it doesn't interest me, mate. I try to watch it, and I would rather stand and watch paint dry. Let them that want to go and watch women's football go and enjoy it, but for me, I'm just going to use the word, it's a man's game, mate.
Well, I think True Blue would disagree with you here.
Aye, through experience, Fox, don't get me wrong, I had no interest in it whatsoever. But my youngest boy, JJ, he was playing for a team and all, and they used to, the Rangers, wee lassies team was in the same league, and they liked to flare with them constantly. I'm not kidding you, this football they were playing, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was howling, I was getting all the pelters when they come off the pitch. But the way they played and everything else was fantastic. I'm not a coaching fan, I hate all that coaching babble. But obviously it works at that level. And as I say, I've been up, there's hundreds of wee lassies playing the game now, and I think the future's really good. I don't think it'll ever, I think it'll turn out when it gets to its extreme level, a bit like, Wimbledon, the women's singles and the men's singles. I don't think the women will ever draw the same crowd. But of course I've got personal interest in it now, so, aye, it's alright for me to watch it now because I've got that interest, but other than that, I don't think I would be watching it. Having said that, during international breaks and all that, or I'm getting starved of football, put it on, I'll watch a women's game, but as Jimmy says, it's pretty dire,
I think it's improved tremendously over the last few years, and it seems to be big in Europe and America, and I hope the Glasgow Rangers ladies goes on to be the top club in Scotland, and I wish them very well. Anybody else?
Obviously, like yourself, I would want to wish them well. No doubt about that. If they get a Rangers name, I'll wish them well. But I can't get excited about ladies football, I'm sorry to say. I just can't.
But that doesn't mean that young ladies and women will not go and watch it, mate. I mean, it came up in the AGM the day that part of the deal getting the wee football facilities across for the main stand was a place for the women to train, mate.
Absolutely, and I wish them nothing but health and wealth.
Yeah.
No problems. But I don't get. I can't. I couldn't find myself going to watch a game like that. I just couldn't find myself doing it. I just don't see it, and it doesn't. That I don't get the same buzz. When I go to see the Rangers, I got the buzz. I sit there
Call
and I
has
watch
been
my
forwarded
team.
to an automated voice messaging system. 61560307885.
There you go.
So sorry about that. Now somebody's answer machine answered when I was calling them back there.
Can I come in there, folks? I can see what Rangers are trying to do, and I applaud them on that. You know, I know that there was a big game down at Wembley last week, and it was actual 80,000 or something was at it, and I commend them in that. But I'm like Bridge, you know, if I'm stuck for a football match and the Rangers women are playing at Ibrox, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't go. As much as I love the Rangers and that, I wouldn't go. It doesn't light my candle, as they say. I try to watch a game, and it's very, very poor. I've seen better football down Knightswood Park, so I'm not being derogatory to them. It's not something I could sit through 90 minutes of. Never mind sitting at Ibrox watching it. So I couldn't do it watching the telly, and I certainly couldn't go to Ibrox. What Rangers are doing is a fantastic thing. I know it's it's the equalities thing and all this, and a woman playing different sports the same as that men are allegedly better at. But for me, it's a non-runner. It's not something I would pay money into, mate. I wouldn't go and see it.
I must be
And I
the
can
only-
understand. I can understand where True Blue's coming from, you know, and I'd probably be the same if I had a relative who was a young girl
Hello.
playing the football. So it doesn't light my candle.
Anyway, we've been joined by James. How we doing, James?
Good. How's it going, guys?
All right, James.
Yeah. I just wanted to say Dave King did a marvellous job of saving Rangers. I thought it was fantastic the way he put his money into the club and the way he ran it. So he really did a great job. So well done, Dave. The other point, women's football. I think the women's football, Rangers had to win the Scottish League and beat Glasgow City. Within 5 years, they would get crowds of maybe 10 to 20,000. I think it's going to be a big thing. I think Rangers are smart getting into women's football. Over here in America, crowds of 70,000 will go to see them. And it's going to be a big thing because some of these girls are really, really good over here. Fast, technically, really good. You might watch some Scottish teams, but over here, they play really well. So that's what I think. My friend, way back in 2014, said that Rangers would never be a big side after administration. I said, no, they'll come back, and they have come back. So that's great. Just a final point. Feyenoord have got an excellent defender, the Argentine guy, Sinera, I think he's called. He's a left-footed guy, excellent in the air. Really scored a great goal attacking the near post, so we'll need to watch him. And the Sinistera has scored a great goal against a team that were playing. It was 1-0 at the weekend there. Yeah, Feyenoord are good side. So we'll need to be on our toes with these guys and make sure that we keep a defence. Just another final point, and then you can, I feel like the crosses we get from Tavernier and Barisic are good, but they always float the ball over the top. Why can they not get to the byline, the same as Barisic did to Persic, gave it back for somebody to volley in on the deck, or just, I always think that sometimes the final ball is bad, and they should be able to cut it back in the deck for people running in. I don't know what you think of these points, guys.
Well, I agree we should vary the crossing a bit better. I do remember the goal that Barisic cut back for, who was it, Perisic who scored it, wasn't it, James?
Perisic,
yeah,
aye.
Perisic.
Fantastic.
Well, at the moment, look, let's be honest, they're good players, but I mean, it's the quality of the movement in the box, James. Likes of Barisic and Tav will try and find people in the box, but the movement in the box is going to be good as well for them to find them. And let's just hope as we go forward in the season that we find a solution to that. I think our fullbacks are as good as anything in this league, if no better.
Right. Can I just make a point about the midfield? I also feel as well, like I've looked at Glenn Kamara and his international games, and I've looked at who's the other one, the Nigerian guy, what's his name again?
Aribo.
Yeah. They command games when they play. With us, they're kind of saying, oh, Jack's going to be the main player, let's not play. I don't think Aribo's settled. I still think people come to the country. If you look at a lot of players, the Dutch league, they're all coming from England and going there because a lot of them don't settle here, and some of them might not like it and so forth. I always think that, and I think they've got a lot more to offer than they do playing for us. I think they should be a lot better. Aribo's not played near enough as good as what I saw him down in England. He ran the show and he was tackling like anything. Granted, they might not want to play in these AstroTurf because they're dangerous, those parts, and they don't want to get their leg broken. But I also think they should show a lot more. That's what I think, anyway.
I agree with you, James. I said earlier on, a couple of weeks ago, that I think we'll see the best of Joe Aribo and Kamara next year. And I do agree with you. Like Barisic, it's not always easy moving from where you live to another country. And they'll settle in and they'll be big stars for us next year.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you actually get, do you know who's got on the programme when they're listening to the programme in the station? Can you tell that I'm listening maybe yesterday or the day before?
No, not really.
No.
Only if you log into the lobby, mate, we can tell who's actually listening.
Right. Okay.
We don't really have immediate links to Facebook and all the other platforms that we go out on, mate.
Is there something you need? Is there something you need, James? Because maybe old school bloke could maybe nip in there.
No, I was just saying that. I was just thinking. I saw on Twitter that I logged into Twitter and people's names were coming up on Twitter. I thought that you knew that who was listening on YouTube and so forth and Facebook. Maybe that's a thing you could find out, because you could always invite somebody that's listening to come on the show. Maybe you don't want to do that, but
no, James. We put the phone numbers every night. MD that's listening on any platform can phone in without any bother and join in the show.
All right, okay. I just thought maybe you want to invite them, but I would say just now, watched another Rangers program, and I'm not criticising the person, but they went in to talk about a guy with a pub. But usually the top show, without a doubt, Rangers Radio, better than any show, because you're very, very good, and language is good, because I don't like bad language, so you're really good. So that's why I come on here regular. So well done. And I'd just like to say, Bridgeman is such a nice guy. Bridgeman, is Bridgeman there?
I am here, pal.
You're such a nice. I can tell you're such a nice guy, because you seem to be spot on all the time. So well done to you. And JFK is very intelligent about football. He's very like myself. JFK seems to spot. He's really good. If I had a few million, I would have you all on my board, by the way.
Did you say you're the same age as that JFK?
No, a little bit older actually, but
no, you can't be. You must be joking.
Well, I don't want to give away my age, because you'll meet me next year, so you'll see me what I'm like. But because I'll be coming to see the Rangers next year when I come to Glasgow, meet the family, so forth. So yeah, get a chance to see me. a wee bit older than JFK, but
I'm 62 on Sunday, James. There you are.
I'm not a giver. I know. I heard that yesterday. I think he said that.
Yeah.
But JFK is so knowledgeable at football. By the way, he's really spot on.
Thanks
He's
very much for
like-
that, mate.
Well, I
seriously.
was taking all your points to be terrific there, Jim, until you went that far.
Don't you
Uh,
bust
uh,
my bubble now, folks.
No,
And
JFK is really good.
as for keeping the swearing down, we do have to gag Bridgman from time to time.
Oh, that's shocking, by the way. Shocker.
Yeah, I know, but he's doing a very good job, and so keep it up. I'm sure. Have you got any plans for the future yourself to get the station bigger, or are you just quite happy what it's doing? Have you got plans yourself to
I think everything
maybe
that
make the
I think everything that the station's doing is fantastic, James. I think everybody who listens to the station, I know I've got 2 or 3 people have come into the lobby, but I've got 20, 30 people listening myself. So, and they thoroughly enjoy the show. And I think everybody in the lobby is probably the same. But there's thousands listening to this show from all over the world every night.
right?
And I think between us all, we've got a good knowledge of not just Rangers, but football in general. And we put ourselves there in a orderly and polite manner. We can have our wee faux pas now and again, but that's held together by Fox and Bridgman and Oxshare, who make sure that the sweary words are kept to a bare minimum. So I think we're doing a lot of things right just now. So I don't see there's really much we can do to make it any bigger. Just keep telling people, listen to Rangers Radio, because it's for the Rangers.
Yeah, I do that when I'm there, because I asked the guy if he will use War Rangers Radio, and he said, I listen to the show, but I don't go on. I said, you should go on and say something about the Rangers. But I just thought Dave King was brilliant. I think he was a great, he saved the club. Without him, we'd have been in a lot of trouble, and we owe him a lot, by the way. And I think that's JFK brought a great suggestion up about the Dave King family stand. I would go for that. I think it's a great suggestion, and I think we should push that.
Yeah.
So well done, JFK and Bridgman. Everyone is good. Well, how do you all get your names, by the way? I just wanted to ask you that. How do you all get your different Rangers names? Do you just call yourselves
Well, you know what JFK stands for?
John F. Kennedy?
Well, obviously my first name's Jimmy, but I'm from Knightswood,
right.
so Oxshire decided to call me JFK, Jimmy from
Jimmy from
Knightswood.
Knightswood. Very
That's it.
famous on Radio Clyde, James. Very, very famous on Radio Clyde is our Jimmy.
Been banned from Radio Clyde for using sweary words, so I can't do that on here, so I've got to bite my tongue all the time. But no, I've never had any cause to swear on here.
I'm just saying
Anyway, Jim, thanks. We don't usually do adverts on the programme, but you've done a good job of it there, mate. Big up to you.
Okay, I'll speak to you next week or the week after. Take care,
Will do,
guys.
James. Thanks very much for your input. Mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Good to hear from
James, I never got a chance to say thank you to James. The money's in the post, James.
I can't get out the door now. Oh, dearie me. Thank you, James.
He was doing quite well after Fox came on and shot me down in flames. Thanks, Foxy.
It's worth it, mate.
I just hope he's not one of the criminal profilers, Fox.
Aye. Oh, dear.
I'm just going to go and mute for an hour and a half now.
Anyway, for James's nice input there, what were we talking about? Women's football, weren't we?
Yeah.
So it's a big no for the panel, is it?
I wouldn't say it's a big no, Fox. It's just no something that interests me, and I commend Rangers for taking that road.
Listen, mate, if the ladies get a game at Ibrox every second week when the big team's away and can put 20, 30,000 in there, that's more money coming into the club.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, so
Everyone-
that's something to consider.
Everyone, anyone, mate. That's what the club's all about now. And I think we'll need to take our female fans into consideration, and they might want to go and see the ladies. I would go in a minute, mate. I would go. I quite like it. I think it's improved tremendously. Anyway, we'll be moving on to something else then.
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
Brexit.
Here,
Big
you
gaming Thursday. 2 days to go.
Two
Two
sleeps, Jimmy.
Feyenoord
Can't wait.
get some injury problems. Do you think that's going to benefit us? Or should we just brush that aside and go and play the game we know we can play?
I was hoping to stretch us out, Jimmy, on the AGM. Oxy's got all that lined up for tomorrow. But
All right, on you go then.
on you
I'll
go,
keep
on
my
you
shut.
go.
No, on you go. No, I'm all right with that. No, you're on the floor.
You
On you
stop
go.
fighting. Let's say we're on air.
James will be listening and say, "Oh, that's terrible."
No, on you go, Jimmy.
No,
Use your
there's a
thoughts.
lot. There's a lot of good things in the EGM, you know, as well. You know, you could stacks of things you could talk about regarding the women's football, as you said. There, he spoke about. I mean, it's something that we could talk about all night about Dave King plaudits. I mean, the other thing there that Bridgeman spoke about, I know he's quite passionate about it, and I know Dave King spoke about it today, is about the media, how they portray us. Is that something that we would discuss? Do we feel that Dave King's going down the right road? As far as what he was saying today, that it looks as if he's went to BBC London. Do you think he'll get any joy out of that? Do you think that's something he's had to go over the head of some of them in Scotland to try and get Rangers a fair hearing? He did say that he's got a good thing with Sky and BT, but the others don't seem to want to be doing it. And STV gives a decent out now and again, but the BBC never do. We never get it off the BBC, no matter what we do, how good we do it.
David, can't take
The
your call
geese at
just
the
now.
neck.
Leave your number, I'll get back to you. Bye.
Oh, there you go. So that's, I mean, I know Bridgeman spoke it right at the start about the BBC, and I think it's quite relevant about the way going forward for us, how they will portray us going forward now that Dave King will be leaving. Who's going to fight that corner for us? Is it going to be the new chairman going to take up the cudgels? I don't know. What do you think yourself, Fox? Or Bridgeman?
I was just going to say, you know, speaking on these subjects regarding the BBC and the way they treat us, can you imagine at the end of the season at Rangers, even in 2 weeks' time, if we win the cup, we beat Celtic in the cup, and then we go on and we win the Scottish Cup, and then we go on and we win the league. Can you imagine what the BBC are going to do? How Rangers are going to be portrayed? We've won everything in the country, if you follow what I mean, and yet the BBC only want to interview us. There's something seriously wrong in the way the BBC are treating Rangers in general, but in specifics, I don't know the specifics. Other than I'm just a fan, and I get absolutely pig sick of listening to the BBC talking about us. Because you watch the game in Sunday, we all watched the game on Sunday, and listening to the BBC, we were getting beaten by Hamilton. Rangers were lucky to win. Hamilton were unlucky not to win, and so on and so forth. And that isn't right. I don't care what anybody says. That just isn't right. So according to the day, based on Mr. Robertson, he was saying that they're now dealing with somebody quite seriously high up in the BBC. That's my interpretation of what he said. So we'll need to wait to see what he says about it. Sorry that, Foxy.
No bother. We've been joined by Gary for Hamilton. Evening, Gary.
Evening all. I think you've actually jumped on my point I was going to ask about. It was just when after Dave King's speech, it was they were going to say there was going to be questions to the football department and stuff like that. Have you heard anything like what was asked or anything like that for that side of things, or what questions the shareholders asked? Were they?
There wasn't many. I think they only had about 7 people up asking questions. Laura Fox was the first one, then a boy got up and wanted to know how he never got a ticket for the final. And I don't think he realised that half the people in the room hadn't got a ticket for the final. It wasn't just him. Another gentleman got up and had a wee go at the club regarding the disability situation at Ibrox, the poor conditions that the disabled have got to put up with at Ibrox. And Stuart Robertson says that they took that into consideration. They were looking at things. That's all the points that I can remember myself, mate.
There was one guy came in at the end, Foxy, and asked Stephen Gerrard, or in fact, wished Stephen Gerrard luck on Thursday. Congratulated Stephen and the football and so on and so forth. And Stephen did the same as what we were all doing. He says, I've got 1 point to do with the tickets. I've not got enough. I've only got 4 and I need 20. And I got a big laugh there. But he went on to say, as far as he's concerned, much as what he said in his last meeting, his last sort of post-match kit, everything's fine. As far as he's concerned, everything's good. It's looking good for the Rangers going forward. The team's looking good, and he's got a great relationship with Mr. Robertson, Dave King, and that guy Mitchell, Ross Mitchell. So as far as he's concerned, everything's looking hunky-dory from a footballing perspective. Yeah. That's all we really. I think that was all that was said about the actual football, pal.
What is your thoughts, guys, on... sorry, Gary, to jump in there. What's your thoughts, guys, on the Club 1872's question about the HMRC story and the response, the answer that they got? You know, I mean, the answer was it's not really a club issue. From a legal point of view, it turns out, if it turns out the info is correct, and Rangers International Football Club, new company, obviously would have no claim, and the real victims are us, the supporters, and like myself, a former shareholder, we could raise an action, but it's not for the club. Do you think that's a reasonable statement, or do you think that it's we should be asking the club to fight our fight, or should we do it as individuals get together collectively and go and fight our own fight?
I think the chairman himself said that it's a personal battle. He would look at it on their terms. I mean, everybody knows what happened to shareholdings, the debenture people that lost money. It's just one of the things that's happened, Jimmy. It's up to the people in charge of looking after Rangers and administration to fight their corner, and hopefully they get something out of it, you know.
Because we were all chatting here, and as you all know, the various forums were red hot. They were on fire, you know. Everybody was compensation this and compensation that. But I remember we were all chatting at the time, and I'd say, look, what do we all think should happen? And I thought at the very least we should have some sort of independent inquiry. Not so much about getting compensation, folks. It's about actually how they came about the decision of the £100 million that they said that we owed. And I can take on board what Dave King said. Was it Dave King or was it Mr. Robertson that said about
Robertson?
That it's not something the club is going to really pursue as a club, because we would have no claim. And I did state that. I mean, we've not paid anything to HMRC yet, because obviously we know that there's going to be something with BDO come January, February of next year. Exactly what kind of monies will be paid out to the people who are owed through the credit agreements. But I think the statement he made regarding the club would have no claim is a correct statement to make.
Can I come in on that, Jimmy?
On you go, pal. On you go, mate.
No, I was just going to say, you're absolutely right. I made a mistake there. It was in fact Dave King. Dave King was trying to point the chaps at the person that was speaking for Club 1872, and what he was saying was he is owed, shall we say, he lost 20 million, and all the other shareholders lost a lot, and all the guys round about us were on nodding because they were the old shareholders, a load of them, and we were all of the same opinion. What he said was, legally speaking, it's got nothing to do with Rangers International Football Club. We're a totally separate entity entirely. Excuse me, but I don't really like saying these things because it kind of sounds a bit daft. But we're a different club now, but that doesn't mean to say there isn't massive ties. So I think what he said was, if it comes out at BDO get, shall we say, an agreement through the courts to be allowed some sort of claim, they maybe want to make a claim, and I think it's up to the shareholders then. And Dave King said he's going to make a claim, and he would like to speak to others who want to make a claim as well. And maybe it would be a thing. I said this at the start. Maybe one sort of, what do they call those kind of claims? Class action claims or something like that. So that it covers everybody. As if it all comes true, if it's all been true, should I say? Because not everybody, but there's a lot of folk poo-hooing it. As I've said, the guy was mentioned today, and it was even mentioned that an SNP MSP has now put a motion forward to Parliament to shall we say, to support HMRC and say how they were doing, the good job they were doing. And of course that raised a wee bit of a laugh because of people complaining and so on and so forth. So but Dave King said it was really nothing to do with the existing club.
Yeah, what about you, Gary? What do you think? Did you hear that? Guys were talking about.
I think, like you said, I think the club will not so much keep themselves out to it. I think they'll focus on the bread and butter. But what would be good is that there is an investigation, and if down the line that anybody gets any money back, it might open the door for them to reinvest either back into Rangers in some sort of way, whether they can get the old company, like they can get the old company working again, and then they can use that to buy shares in the new company. Mm-hmm.
What you've got to remember, Gary, that when the tax bill was presented to Rangers, whether it was a Fogs bill or no, if that's the right word, the fact of the matter is that Rangers didn't pay any. No, so that's in the hands of BDO, who after with a CVA, then that's been passed to BDO. It looks like and I'm quite happy with what was said by Dave King today, that that the club would have no claim. My personal opinion on it is that if I've got a fight, it's mine fight now, to try and get my shares back if that can happen. I don't think it's a mucky road that Rangers should go down to try and start claiming HMRC. I think they should let other powers out with Rangers to see if the HMRC had made a bad error, and as far as I'm concerned, just let's get on with it. But I think we had a knee-jerk reaction when it first came out, and I think now we've all kind of calmed down. We all can see the real issue here. And we
this is the Vodafone voicemail service for 077.
No saying let it go. Like as Bridgeman said, he used a good word. It's an American word, isn't it? Class action. So I mean, if there's something that's come out and it said that all shareholders, blah blah blah, if we get together and take some sort of action against HMRC, if that's the thing that we would be able to do, then I'm quite willing to go down that road. But I'm happy the club now have clarified that, and Dave King's clarified that he lost £20 million of his cash. And if he's a victim, the same as us, because he is a supporter as well as a shareholder. So just thought I'd ask you what you thought, regarding the statement or the question that was asked about HMRC. I think it tells us that the club just want to brush it away, but just let other action take its course, guys.
Well, I think, Jimmy, can I just say, Jimmy, we have to...
Can I come in for a minute?
Aye, can you come through?
I'm listening to two of you talking there. We're not a new club. We're a new company. It's a completely...
We're speaking about that.
Right, but you mentioned the point, Bridgeman, we're a new club, we're not a new club, we're a new company. It's two separate companies involved here now.
Correct. But you know
so
what I mean.
If we can clear that up.
Agreed, it's not a problem.
The present company doesn't have any claim on it. I think legally they've absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever. It'd be up to the
individuals.
The people with an interest in the last club about taking that forward. I don't know what they would get out of it other than I don't know about compensation either. I don't think there's anything to be gained with it really.
Aye, right. Hurry up and then we'll move on, Bridge.
I just wanted to say that it depends up to a certain point. If there becomes a class action against HMRC, that would depend on how BDO, how they win their cases. Because if it turns out that BDO win their cases, then the other shareholders and other people that's owed money, other debtors, creditors, they've got to win their money, and so on and so forth. And then there will become a time, if this all happens, there will come a time when they're going to turn in and say, but look at the potential earnings it should have been gained, or could have been gained by Rangers if they hadn't been, shall we say, put in administration. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. We've answered that question well enough, I think. Anyway, I've got a question for you. When we did get into financial trouble there, has it made the supporters stronger than it was before the actual events took place? Do you think the supporters are stronger together now?
Oh, aye. Can I come in that first, Fox?
No, I'm going to actually bring in wee Stardog, who's no spoke.
Oh, Stardog's still there? I thought he was all.
Only waited 40 minutes.
Talk up then.
No, because you're interrupting folk if you do that. I'm a polite guy.
Right, move on.
What was I going to say? Right, well, I made a point a couple of months back, mate. I mean, you watch all the All Rangers videos and things like that, and when we were winning 9-0 and things like that, mate, I mean, the stadium was never full every single week. You can probably say the same for across the city now. I think Rangers fans probably, without any knowing or any acknowledgement to their own thing, mate, we take the club for granted. We just always thought the club was going to be there, and I think that gave a lot of folk a wee scare, including myself, mate, because I mean, I honestly didn't know. When all this kicked off years ago, I didn't know where we were going to end up. I didn't know if I would have to adopt United as my team. I didn't know what was going to happen, mate. I didn't think Rangers would ever be back. Especially not as quick as we have done it, and I think that is credit to the chairman and all his management team behind him and things like that. But I do definitely think the Rangers fans, probably over the years, without knowingly doing it, we probably did take the club for granted a wee bit, mate. You've got to be there all the time. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be filling the stadium. You've always got to be looking to expand. I don't think you can get complacent in football now, mate, or you just get left behind.
Fair enough. True Blue, what's your opinion?
I think there's still resentment going about Fox. I mean, it was quite bitter. You and I were away. You think back to some of the shows that were on here, and all the talk about certain groups, you know, SOS, things like that.
Sorry about it, Drew, but it's no. The question was actually, do you think the support are more together, galvanised than they were before the event?
I don't know. Do you mean for admin and all that?
Aye, I think the support is stronger now than it was
before. But I think Stardog certainly got a point there. We take things for granted, discussed it often enough, you know. We always thought there'd be a queue of millionaires and billionaires to take over if the club ever got in trouble, which proved not to be the case. I think we were all a bit shocked by that at the time, you know, and how easily these people get in and took control of the club. You know, I think Rangers support are a lot more educated now and a lot more realistic about expectations of the club or the company, maybe.
Comment, Drew. Bridgeman?
I think we're a lot stronger now, having gone through all the pain. And watching what the massive queues at Ibrox when Rangers fought before the first game, and the season tickets were getting introduced, all these things, you're talking 3 and 4 days of queue after queue after queue, people waiting to go and help. Because that's all we were doing, really. We were there to help. We're putting money in and we're there to help. And from then all the way through to now, where you get people like us on here, a whole load of us on here, can't get a ticket for the game, for the cup final, because of the demand. So Rangers are in demand all over. It doesn't matter what it is. Massive, massive demand for tickets for Rangers games. So that's brilliant for the club, and I think far more popular, and that's driving the fan base getting higher and more and more. And that's the reason why you're starting talking about potential expansions here and there. So that will go on, and well done. I think we're far better, a far more together Rangers fan group should I say, than we were before.
Jimmy?
I think we became complacent. I mean, when David Holmes came into Rangers and when Lawrence Marlborough set up, and then Graham Souness came and then David Murray, and the money that was invested, and with the good years, the 9 in a row, and then the situation that happened to us when we ended up in liquidation, I think a lot of us thought that it's going to be quite easy here. Somebody's going to come in and invest a lot of money in Rangers, and it was a culture shock for us folks, and it was hurtful, you know. And I think we became blasé. And the fact is that we're Rangers, and somebody will come in because we're bigger than that. And what a shock that was for us, you know. And for me, that's the reason I think that I've became a stronger person supporting the Rangers. Like yourself, lived through the 9 in a row that they did, and then obviously the 9 in a row that we did, and it was fantastic years. But I think that it's a different situation this time, and the fact is that we did go under, and that was frightening. But now we're back. So I seen Blue Blood used a good word there in the lobby, and that galvanised us, pulled us all together. And I think every one of us, we're all wary of what could happen again, and we need to make sure it never happens again.
See for me, Jimmy, see that first ever game that taken place in the 3rd division, we were stripped right down to our bare bones, but it's like third horn strips basically, and the players that went out and lined up for us that day, I can honestly tell I was terrified for the club, mate. I was terrified for us as a side. Obviously growing up, I grew up during the 9 in a row era, and then on to the Dick Advocaat era, McLeish era, you know, we're all trophy laden years for Rangers, and up until 2008 in my full lifetime, Rangers had never lost a cup final that they were in that I had watched. So I was used to my team winning, mate, and you know, I was terrified. I honestly was. That first game that taken place, and I thought, Ken, is this really it? Is this all I've been brought up to support? Is this what it's going to be like? Are we going to be your Gretners? Ken, one of these clubs, mate, they just get forgotten about, because we were kicked right down to the boat, my Scottish football, mate, and I think if the powers that be had their way, would be left down there to rot and waste away, because we really, really were. I mean, if you even think back to the strips we were wearing, it was like we reinvented the full club. It was like the first ever Rangers strip out. Do you know what I mean? With just the badge on it. It was terrifying, mate. And
is Gary still there?
Aye.
What's your take on it, Gary?
I'm the same as Starbuck. I mean, I was probably back enjoying 8 in a row and all that, and it's probably one thing Dave King never really took credit for the day. I think him and the board, like, even Dave King showing emotion, that's a chairman showing emotion for the club today, and that's where he's been good, that he's been able to bring us all together as well. And even today, I don't know if you've seen his interview with Rangers TV, but he's turned and says that he's still got to be the majority, the biggest shareholder, and that he's still going to be about. But he's just got to be sitting back asking questions rather than having to take the questions. So I don't think we've got anything to worry. He'll always be there, watching and making sure that there's nobody coming in to mess about with the club again. And I think we've got the right guys on about.
But as Fox said, sorry to interrupt, as Fox said here, as a Rangers fan, has it made you more determined? Do you feel that watching Rangers, going to see Rangers, do you feel that there's a more of a togetherness with us all? I certainly do. I get that feeling going to the games. I think that we've been kicked and kicked many times, and I feel that we don't want that to happen again. Do you have that feeling as well?
Aye, and you enjoy the victories more now. I think you appreciate them more. If you mean you're like that was a good team performance and stuff like that. And like you say, I think it's more because of the budget that we're on as well. That you appreciate it more. You're like, well, like we are running on a smaller budget than most big clubs out there now, and the stuff that we're pulling off is totally unbelievable. So I think you sit there and you're paying your money and you appreciate it more. And like I say, I think more fans are more together now with even like your show and stuff like that. Like there's more, I don't know, like your Stardog said, we took it for granted. Like everybody just kind of walked past each other. I think now you talk more about Rangers together than you did before. I don't know. Like, maybe it's a generation thing, but definitely for me, I think now there's more things out there as well. The board of, like, even my mate, he takes his wee boy to see the game, and there's like the fan zone and stuff like that, and he says his wee boy's away and playing football with other wee Rangers fans and stuff like that.
Good stuff.
It's all good.
Anyway, another point I wanted to make. Club 1872, they've not been a great supporter to this station anyway, but listening to a lot of folks today, other fans doing, I know we've put in fortunes, mate, into the club, season tickets and everything else that goes on. Is it time more people stood up and backed Club 1872?
It's not so much about backing 1872. I mean, we know there's fragmentation there for all the factions that support Rangers.
Jimmy, see, before we go into that, the thing is, there were doubts about Dave King when he came in. There were doubts about 1872 when it started up. But they have been true to their word and bought big amounts of shares in the people it's donated in 1872. I'm just asking, there's loads of people out there. I'm a season ticket holder, you're a season ticket, and so are so many people on this panel. But for the price of a cup of tea and a rolling sausage, it means Skipper getting the £2 a month. I'm thinking of actually backing them now and giving them a donation, you know.
You said there that no, maybe I picked you up on it. Did you say there that there's no a good relationship in the aspect between 1872 and Rangers Radio?
No, I didn't mean it like that. We've asked them to come on a couple of times and they've never communicated with us, mate. But that shouldn't still be, shouldn't be petty and no back them because they don't.
I understand what you're saying, you know, and I know there's, as I say, there's different factions that, you know, I don't have an issue with Club 1872. I just in a personal opinion, I just think that they're quite aloof. You know, they don't want to engage. I think they think as a lot of the fans are common fans. That's just a personal opinion. I would like somebody for Club 1872 to come on and have a Q&A with us, and that'd be fantastic without any recriminations and that. But I just feel that no, they're there. And I'm here, as I say, so.
They're here to stay now, Jimmy. They're not a flash in the pan. They've done exactly what they said they would do, and I think that people should stop doubting them and maybe start supporting them. I understand
that. My personal thing is that some individuals in Club 1872 have did what they did to get their feet under that table. And I don't feel good about that, you know. And so I just feel that I'll give them my support. Will I give them any? I wouldn't give them it. Well, I say I'm support them. I don't really need to support them because there's only one thing I do support, and that's Rangers. I don't need to support Club 1872. I think they're a different entity for what the real Rangers fan is.
Well, I'm not totally sticking up for them, mate, but I think that they've done what it says on the tin, and if we're all talking about earlier about how all together we are, I'm just thinking that they deserve more support, and the more shares that Rangers supporters get at Ibrox, the better for the fans. Anyway, Bridge, on you go.
I was just going to say, look, that's one of these areas of discussion that can be. Club 1872 are like Marmite to some people, you know. I either like them or I don't like them, you know. I don't go either way as far as that's concerned. They're there. They're doing a good job for the people who are part and parcel of Club 1872. They're doing what they said they would do. They would gather as many shares as they could. I think at some point they've been one of the biggest shareholders in the club. I don't know whether this new issues of shares will affect them in any way. About that, what we were speaking about earlier, they might have to be brought. One of the boys was saying they might have to be somehow or other regain their shareholding or their percentage of shareholding. But I don't know how they're going to go about that. But really and truly, I think I think that young lassie Laura that was speaking to at the AGM today, I think she'd been on our show. Was it Laura Fox or something like that? Was that her name?
No, I don't think she's not been on this show, mate.
You know, one of them was on. One of them was on anyway. Young lassie was on from 1872. A couple of years ago, of course. You know?
No, that was another young lady that was going for the fans board, mate. I think they get mixed up.
Okay, I'm with you now. So, anyway. They have people have come on, and I wish them all the luck in the world. I'm an independent shareholder as far as that's concerned with Rangers, and at some point or other, I'm hoping that they do another share issue to raise some money. I'll think about what I'm doing and maybe jump in and buy some and give some money to the club. No problem.
True Blue, you any views on this?
Any interest in them whatsoever, folks.
Oh well, fair enough. Stardog.
Yeah, I don't honestly know enough about them, folks, but I mean, if what you're saying is correct, like they've come in, they've said they were going to do a certain job and they've stuck to their word, mate, and they've done that, and there was any sort of way I could get a donation knowing that it's going straight back into the football club, mate, I would be all for that. If it's going to boost our football club, I would definitely do it, mate, 100%, aye.
They need to engage with the fans, though, Fox.
I think they do in their own way, mate. I don't think.
Well, that's all right. That's. I mean, that's okay. That's well said and good. But I mean, for me, they're far too near the board to be and that's just I mean, I lost my shares at the last one.
You need to mingle with the commoners a wee bit more.
I'm not a commoner, mate. I'm not a commoner.
No, you know what I'm saying.
But I know. But the Club 1872 were formed as a fans group to engage the board, but I feel they're too close to the board, and that's my personal belief, and I know it's a lot of other Rangers fans' belief. I wouldn't. Personally speaking, I wouldn't give Club 1872 any of my money. Any money I give will be my season ticket money and other avenues that I can. For me, it's a no for me. That's just the way I feel, folks. I'd rather speak the truth than just push the foot about. But they wouldn't get the matter out my eye, mate.
Right, that's fair enough.
You can buy your own shares and retain ownership.
Exactly.
I know you can, but it's not just as easy as to go to find your broker and get the shares, mate. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, we've came to that time of night. Thanks to everybody that took part through Stardog, Jimmy, Bridgeman, the callers, Jim, Gary for Hamilton, and other ones that never get through tonight. Bridgeman, it's up to you now.
Oh, what can we say? Well, marvellous discussion, folks. Well done to Jimmy and Stardog and to True Blue. Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed it. A marvellous discussion that shows that we are a really true, good Rangers Radio is a good fan base, marvellous fan base, and what fans we are. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, please, we're ramping up for Thursday. So everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. Keep it going, please. We need it.
We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11. Ox will be back in the seat, thank goodness. Thanks very much for listening. Good night.
across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the forties roar. I've flied the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but never see back home in Scotland more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greenest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. And there's not that really can clear clean. No more I'll sail the seven seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. And fear of love each Saturday, I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greenest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. And there's not nothing really can clear clean. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greenest sight that I